What's up? Thursday morning, out on the track, actually inside on the track. The weather outside's not the greatest. I have sled sprints today, so I didn't want to be on a slick surface since it's raining a little bit outside. I've got the acceleration complex today. I'm gonna change some things up. I kind of want to play with it and see how things feel. The past 3 weeks, I've been doing the skips for distance into a 20-meter sled sprint into acceleration bounds. I'm gonna keep everything on the sled today, try to just switch it up, see how it goes. So I'm gonna do a 20-meter sled sprint with 30 kilos. Then I'm gonna drop it down to 10 kilos and do a 20-meter acceleration bound. And then I'm gonna do an acceleration bound with no sled. So it goes heavy sled, light sled, no sled. That's gonna be the complex today. I'm gonna do 3 sets of that. Everything's gonna be 20 meters. I'm gonna finish with the stair jumps outside if it's not too slick. That's the plan for this morning. We're gonna do the warm up, go through some of the wall drills, some of the A drills on the track, and then we're gonna get after it. Alright, so that's the A series on the track. Usually I do it in like a marching, slower kind of motion as I go through these warm-ups. Today I wanted to add a little bit of dynamic to it. So rather than A marches, I did A skips. Rather than A switches, I did kind of an A skip, A switch combination. And then rather than doing like a marching triple switch, I did an A skip triple switch. So those are those 3 drills there. So the workout is gonna be 3 sets. First set's gonna be a 20-meter sled sprint. I have 30 kilos on the sled, rest 2 minutes. Second thing is gonna be a 20-meter acceleration bound with just 10 kilos on the sled, rest 2 minutes. Third one's gonna be an acceleration bound with no sled, and then I'm gonna rest 4 minutes. So 3 rounds of that, we're gonna get after it. All right, that's the acceleration complex today. That felt really good. I liked going from a heavy sled to a light sled to body weight. By the time I got to the body weight and was doing the acceleration bounds, I felt very light on my feet. I felt extremely powerful. Like 20 meters was finishing before I knew it. And that was kind of what I was expecting to happen today, so that's why I wanted to play around with it. I like that setup. One thing I wanted to talk about is I've been getting a lot of questions over the past few months about people wanting to create power, wanting to get stronger, and what do I do? And that's part of the reason why I've been making these videos, is because I want to just put out a training log on what exactly it is that I've been doing, and 2 things that I've always been telling people that they need to do in order to create strength and power, or even break through plateaus that maybe you haven't hit a PR in a year or 2 years. That happens to us. But 2 things I always tell people to do. You need to do short sprints, and when I say short sprints, I mean the acceleration stuff, 10, 15 meter sprints, and you need to be jumping. So jumping for height, jumping for distance, doing bounds. Those 2 things will help you break through plateaus, will help you create new strength, create new power. If you read any of Charlie Francis' books, I know some of his methods and things may not be the most ideal for everybody, but he has a chart of muscle recruitment, and it's down from like a seated bicep curl, how much muscle can be recruited in that, and it's very little, up to what is the most maximum form of muscle recruitment, and that is in sprinting. So that's why doing sprints and doing jumps can help you break through plateaus. There's no end range to a sprint. When you're putting force into the ground, it's maximum force. But when you're doing a 60 kilo power clean, you really only need to do 61 kilos of force, right? Because you need to do a little bit more force than what's on the bar in order to make it move. But when you're moving your body, it's maximum effort, maximum force. And the cool thing about doing like 10 meter sprints is very, very rarely do you ever see anybody get hurt in a 10 meter sprint. You're not actually getting up to maximum velocity where people normally will pull a hamstring or anything. And focusing on that short acceleration is where your strength and power is at. So even in sprinting, you have strong, powerful strides for your first 10, 15, even 20 meters, depending on the person. And then you start getting into more of a maximum sprint. So if you only focus on that short range and focus on improving that short range, you're more than likely going to be increasing your power as well. And you can start seeing that in some of your lifts. For example, personally for me, just about every single time I've hit a personal best in any of my lifts, sometime either the week before that or during that week, I had also hit a PR in either like a box jump, a depth jump, or some sort of sprint. So for example, the first time I snatched 150 kilos, I also had a PR seated box jump earlier that week. I think it was 66 inches. I did a seated box jump, and then 3, 4, 5 days later, whatever it was, I hit a 150 kilo PR. First time I ever jerked 200 kilos. I also had a record depth jump that week. So I think I did a 200 kilo jerk. I think it was like on Thursday or a Friday. And on Monday that week, I had hit a 42-inch depth jump, and that's landing with straight legs. Another one, just recently, I had a 200 kilo clean. I did that. The week before that 200 kilo clean, I also ran a sub 4.3 40, which is the fastest I've ever ran that. So I've always preceded my strength PRs with some sort of jump and sprint PR. And the reason being is, like I said, doing that kind of training is just maximum effort and maximum muscle recruitment. It's a great way to add into your sessions, to gain some power, to gain some strength, and you'll see that transfer over to the barbell very well. So that's the session in the track. We're gonna go finish up with some jumps up the stairs, and then we got a weight room session later on this afternoon. The weight room session itself is a deload week, so not a whole lot going on. I may not even film it just because it's not anything special going on there, but I will put the workout down below. But other than that, we're gonna get out to the stairs, knock out those jumps, and then we're gonna get on with it. So I appreciate you guys watching the videos. If you want to see more, like and subscribe. I try to get these out at least 4 times a week and get as much information on my training as possible. So appreciate it. We're gonna finish off the workout here, and then we're done.